You're scrolling. Someone posts the promotion, the trip, the relationship that looks effortless. And suddenly, there's that sharp, hot twist in your stomach. Not just envy, not just good for them. Jealousy. The kind that makes you stare a little too long, refresh a little too hard, and feel a little smaller. Here's the part nobody likes to say out loud. That feeling isn't a personal failure. It's ancient. It's biological. And for most of human history, it kept people alive. Jealousy didn't start with Instagram. Evolutionary psychologists have been studying this for decades. David Buss and others have shown that jealousy functions like an early warning system. In ancestral environments, losing a partner or watching someone else claim scarce resources could mean your genes disappeared. That's why the emotion is so fast and so physical. It hits the same brain regions involved in physical pain. Your body treats a social threat almost like a wound. Men and women both feel it, but the triggers often differ in ways that line up with evolutionary pressures: paternity uncertainty for men, loss of resources, and support for women. These patterns show up across cultures, which is one reason researchers take them seriously. Even babies show early forms of jealousy. Studies have found infants as young as 6 months protest when a caregiver's attention shifts to another child. The hardware is installed long before language. Of course, culture shapes how the feeling shows up. In some societies, jealousy is tightly controlled or redirected. In others, it becomes explosive. Modern life has cranked the volume. Social media turns private comparison into a 24-hour highlight reel, so the ancient alarm system is now going off constantly over things that wouldn't have existed 50,000 years ago. There's also a crucial distinction most people miss: healthy jealousy versus toxic jealousy. Healthy jealousy is information. It can signal that something you value is actually at risk. Maybe you've been neglecting a relationship, or a colleague is quietly undercutting you. Used well, it pushes you to clarify, improve, or protect what matters. Toxic jealousy is different. It spirals into surveillance, control, resentment, or self-sabotage. At that point, the original signal has been hijacked by insecurity and fear. Neuroscience shows the same networks involved in craving and withdrawal light up. The brain starts treating the other person's success like a substance it can't get enough of and can't stop thinking about. So, what do you actually do with an emotion this old and this sticky? First, name it accurately. A lot of what we call jealousy is actually fear, grief, or status anxiety. Getting specific, "I'm scared of falling behind" instead of "I hate them," lowers the intensity almost immediately. Second, test the signal. Is this a real threat? Or is it comparison noise? Most of the time, it's the second. The brain is terrible at distinguishing the two when it's flooded. Third, use the energy instead of fighting it. Channel the discomfort into concrete action, skill building, clearer communication, better boundaries. Some of the most driven people you know are running on refined jealousy. They just don't call it that. And fourth, practice the opposite muscle. Deliberately celebrating other people's wins, especially when it's hard, slowly rewires the reflex. It's not toxic positivity. It's training your brain that someone else's success doesn't automatically subtract from yours. Jealousy is uncomfortable because it forces you to look at what you actually care about. That's why we avoid talking about it. We treat it like a character flaw instead of what it really is: an old survival program running in a world it wasn't designed for. The goal isn't to eliminate jealousy. You'll never fully do that, and you probably wouldn't want to. The goal is to stop letting it run the show, to notice the gut punch, read the data, and decide what to do next, instead of letting the feeling decide for you. Next time that twist shows up in your stomach, try treating it like information instead of evidence that you're broken. Your ancestors felt the same sharp heat. They just didn't have phones to make it worse. You do, which means you also have the chance to handle it better than they ever could.